that I don't think I've ever put on one of the little videos. It's a small tip, but really worth its weight in gold. What I usually would do is with a microfiber, I've used this polish. These are little parts for the 650. I've been doing some detail work waiting for our next project. We need the paint to do it. Mark, we need the paint. But anyway, here's the bottom line, and this is a really good tip. A lot of parts, when you have a gas tank, a big flat part, a fairing part, something like that, well, it's easy. You can wet sand it, 2500, buff it out with any buffer, and we've got 3 of these puppies around here. Actually got 3 of them. Rough compound, smooth compound, and then final finish compound. 3 steps. But no matter how much compound you have, and this is definitely true, a part like this, imagine, most people would try to take a microfiber. You got to get in all these little ridges and corners and all these angles. And in the old days, if we were taking an electric drill and you caught an edge, that part would just go flying. Well, with a machine like this that's orbital, yeah, you always want to be on. Let me just demonstrate this. If this is turning this way, I want to be catching it this way. I don't want to catch it this way, it's going to throw it. So getting it on the right angle is good, but is important, believe me. The first time that part takes a flight into the next neighbor's yard or something. But there's always little spots you can't buff. Now, and this is a priceless little trick. I take a little bit of the compound that I'm using, no matter what it is, and I'll get it. See, a paper towel, this is a Bounty paper towel, will allow it to conform to that corner. It'll allow me to get right in the corner and buff it. Right in that little area that, now what normally would happen, you try to buff that with a big buffer like this, you'll wear the paint out on the edge. Unless you have an extreme amount of paint. But getting in that little corner, Bounty paper towels. Now, in the days of buffing out model airplanes, you would never buff. First off, they hadn't invented microfibers, so you would always use Bounty paper towels. Would always be the thing of choice. Now, second thing, if I really can't get down into that final little edge, I'll fold this back twice, wrap it around one of these soft nail files, and very carefully get right in that corner. It seems like this wouldn't be a hard thing to figure out, but believe me, what happens is, and on a model airplane, there's a lot of these little edges and corners and things. So having the right tool made, kind of important in terms of getting it done and a time saving. Now on our 650, what we've done is several little parts, the chain guard, and there's a couple more I want to do. I call it the detail, the little details that almost nobody really notices until all of a sudden one day you look at a motorcycle or an airplane or whatever and you go, wow, that looks nice. And you don't even know why it looks nice, but it looks nice. Another little area I'll get, if you see this right up here, let me see some of this right up here. This little corner up here, this little area in here, there's just no way you're going to get that unless you really take something with a sharp edge or soft. You invent a little tool. I've wrapped Bounty paper towels around toothpicks. I've made little tools. By the way, a great thing to make, maybe I have one here even, is a paint stirring stick makes a great little tool. But all these little tips, and there's the problem is there's 1,000 of them, and the problem is people that do this kind of work, whether it's a motorcycle, it's a car, or you're buffing out an antique car or whatever. If you're able to share the information, and we share it on YouTube, of course, what happens is other people then seem to have a little bit of an obligation to share what they know. Most people I know do anyway. And then what happens is everybody learns from everybody else. It's a great thing. Now what's going to happen very quickly, it's going to probably happen this week. We have 4 bikes in-house now being painted, and we're expecting a 5th. So it's really going to get to be labor intensive. And it's usually this time of year that this is Mark's NS250. We're going to do that and that is really a labor intensive project. There's going to be a lot of body work. We're waiting for Vlad to get the Bermuda paint. It's coming from England. And you can see the color match wasn't right with the paint that he had gotten. Well, that's a problem Luciano had too. The yellow didn't match. He's buying more paint. This color match thing. This is an NS250 Honda 2-stroke. We're going to be working on that. We have 2 Benelli sets of bodywork that'll be our somewhere down the road. We just run out of room here and more NS parts. Now, what's going to happen, and we're going to try to do a lot of this on video. These are the parts. Mark has done some body work on them. They're going to need a lot more body work. These actually, from the videos that I put out on YouTube, and using Brodax CA, managed to firm everything up back here. So basically what we'll just be doing is the cosmetic part of it. But you can see it's pretty obvious. We're going to be real busy. This is going to be a labor intensive week, that's for sure. And of course, we have Glenn's track bike. But I'm going to go out to the garage, bolt these parts on, and start to try to clean up the deck here. So Luciano's going to be bringing over a tank somewhere this week. Anyway, but we like being busy. And I like sharing, and I hope you enjoy the sharing as much as we do. And that you've picked up some tips, and obviously that I feel lucky that I've learned so much from other people that have been willing to share it. And thanks to everybody who does share it. Now, our 650 is one of the bikes that I really do enjoy riding this bike. I've even track dayed this bike at Pocono. And here's one of the things that I like, and it's personal. It's all personal taste. This bike comes with a lot of flat black parts. Let's just real quickly take a look at some of the things I did to kind of upgrade, customize the bike. Polishing the exhaust. Never even took it off the bike, did it all right on the bike. Polishing titanium, I've made a video about that. It's somewhere out there, not sure where. The gold screws, that was Luciano's thing. He sent me the link for them, $3 for a dozen. We've got a lot of them all around the bike. They've worked well. These are the parts we just painted today. We just finished. And now, on a stock bike, and this is my point of doing this, on a stock bike, they're flat black along with a lot of stuff. The hugger is another thing that's flat black. And somewhere down the road, I'm going to modify this. We're too busy in the shop right now. I'm going to try to make something a little more, well, that isn't the most attractive part of the bike. But I think overall, now that we've got some of these parts, now we've got this part we did. We have a video on doing that. This one we just did the last couple of days. To me, that makes the bike a lot more attractive than the flat black parts did. That's just a totally night and day more attractive. The other part we did the hugger. I think, if nothing else, that'll make it easier to maintain, clean the bike, wipe it off. This part we did in gloss black. This fairing part in gloss black. And I just think, everybody has their own opinion, but I think the gloss black parts, really, they just add something to this bike that I like a lot. And this bike, believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe all this, but this is really one of my favorite bikes to ride. And it is just a sweetheart of a bike. And again, I think Glenn is going to be able to come over one day this week. The next step will be to prep the tank up. I got some of the white where the number plates are going to be. We're going to have to back mask off the number plates. This is going to be a really nice bike. This is a 500 Kawasaki Twin, a track bike. I always get excited this time of year because what's happening, all these projects that we've worked on, and I've done a lot of detailing on every bike out here, but it's little things, and the things that I find worth doing or attractive, little things that that the factory should have done, but they didn't do. they always seem to miss the mark by a little bit anyway. I'm not sure why. But I know that flat black, a lot of people like it. Hey, and that's great. But to me, the whole purpose of this whole thing is that it's just what we have here, nice and shiny. I do enjoy and appreciate a garage full of shiny motorcycles. And another thing I always enjoy is when we can help somebody else achieve their goal if they want to put some shiny parts on their bike. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. You know, I was just thinking of another thing. All these guys end their video with subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. It sounds like we're selling magazines, doesn't it? But I guess you could subscribe if you wanted to.